Hey, hello there, and a very, very good evening. You are, of course, watching the Planet Cruise TV show. My name's Sean Ryan, there you go. But many of you know the show and have been watching for several years. Well, tonight we've got 6 amazing deals and actually 4 late deals as well. So a great show. If you are new, I mean, so many people say to me, "Oh, Sean, I've never been on a cruise." Honestly, you're missing out on so much. I went on my first cruise about 8 years ago, and I've been, I think, 24 now. And yeah, I am absolutely hooked to cruise holidays. And someone that worked on the cruise ships for many, many years is our lovely Justin that's with us this evening. Nice to see you.
How you doing? You all right? Great to see you again.
I always look forward to this show because it's such a great show to be involved in, isn't it?
And to be fair, from my perspective, I just worked at it 17 years ago.
Is it
17? Nick, just coming up to 17. When I first ran away to sea.
Wow.
And look what happened.
Do you know, Justin, before the show, just showed me some pictures of him in his heyday. It was this...
I'm not getting those photos out there. They've disappeared now.
Chiseled Adonis, you know. It still is, obviously. It still is.
Yes, in the dark. But the great thing is we're reminiscing about all the memories that we've had, you know, talking about cruises. Karen, who's coming up for a little bit later on from Princess. Indirectly, we knew each other 10 years ago as well.
Okay, so.
It's such a small world, and you do make those friends. And I'm not just talking about on a professional level. When you go on a cruise, there's this wonderful family feel.
Yeah, I agree.
And you get to know the staff get to know you, and the ports that we've got coming up tonight, and some of the deals, just awesome.
Well, just a quick heads up, we've got an all-inclusive Thomson deal, haven't we?
Yeah, looking forward to that one. We've got Princess coming up with Karen. We've got a P&O deal as well. We've got a celebrity deal with a really exotic itinerary that we're going to be kicking off with. We've also got a river cruise with Riviera and Royal Caribbean later on. And
some late deals, and one of them has got a rock theme. There's a...
Yeah.
Is it
Susie Quattro?
Yeah.
You said you were a big fan, weren't you?
Well,
Susie Quattro, the Trogs, the Animals and Friends, Big Country. Yeah. I'll go through it a little bit later.
Anyone is into rock music, we've got a cruise for, I think it's under £400.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are going to start off with actually one of the best deals you'll have ever seen with celebrity cruises, 5-star modern luxury. And I'm just looking, this is... Hang on, it's over 2 weeks, it's 18 nights, isn't it?
Yeah, and at the price that I'm looking at here, £83 per person per night. This includes overnights as well, and a fantastic destination. Like I said, really exotic, but the ships with celebrity is one of the biggest features. The ship as well, the Millennium, she's only just had a refit last year, I believe. So she's just been updated with some new features and just been given a refresh. So perfect time to go on board.
And I did a very similar cruise with celebrity last year.
One of your many.
Yeah, sorry, I've been so lucky I have, but this honestly was one of my favourites of all time. But it starts off with your flight over to Singapore, and we've actually got a couple of nights there, haven't we?
Yeah, and well, you've actually got a night in Singapore, and then you've got a night overnight actually on the ship.
So 2 nights.
So 2 nights, and do you know what? It just transfers. Here's the Marina Bay Sands Hotel. One thing that's included with this is a tour of the gardens, which are just around the other side. So this is, you can actually see them in the foreground here to the left-hand side. They look like massive trumpets. And at night, they just beautifully glow up. They just light up. There's actually one of them here. One of the largest ones is actually a rooftop bar at the top that you can walk up and you can have a look at that. Yeah, you know, it's absolutely beautiful.
Oh.
And I just don't, you can't describe it unless you actually see it. But for somebody like me to recommend going to a garden tour, definitely go and do that. And it's all part and parcel of what we've put together here at Planet Cruise.
It's a 2-night stay in the hotel, and then 1 night.
Yeah, sorry, overnight. Yeah, overnight on board. Then we've got one of the biggest destinations on the cruise itself, Lam Shebang, otherwise known as Bangkok.
And 2 days at sea, obviously, to get you there, so get to explore the ship, enjoy it. But yes, a chance to visit, of course, Bangkok.
And this is, well, you've got an overnight on board, so I'd highly recommend going ashore. Go ashore and see the exotic lifestyle.
I actually haven't been, but everyone says it's this...
You've got to do it.
Crazy place.
It's one of the great... I've never been to Bangkok, but Bourbon Street in New Orleans. I always think of that sort of flavour, that carnival feel. So if you love if you love your street food, if you love your bars, you love your music, I think anything really goes that night in Bangkok. And then the next day, what I'd recommend is going to a temple and being spiritual, because you'll probably need it.
Well, actually, your next day's at sea, so you can...
No, you have the overnight on board, but the second day, the actual daytime that's in Bangkok, I'd say go to Jim Thompson's house.
Yeah.
Jim Thompson has this wonderful residence, which is all made of teak wood. But anyway, look that up online. got a nice relaxing day at sea, and then we're into Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, capital. Formerly known as Saigon, so if you love your musicals, then you'll love this. And it's really, well, the capital of the bike, because it's just bicycles everywhere. It's just sights and sounds and markets and flavours. And again, you've got a lot of history here as well with the Vietnamese War as well. So if you do want to see some of the military side, the history side, then you can do. Got a nice relaxing day at sea, and then we're into Hue. Now the actual port itself, you've got one or two options. You can either go one way, and you can go to Da Nang, and you can go to the Imperial City as well. So it's a great location. This is one of the ones that I'd ask that when you book, ask about the tours that are available, because you've got to go to the Imperial City. The actual citadel itself is just astounding when you see it, and again, it's just one of those sort of tick lists. Then we're off to Hanoi. Now this is where you have an overnight on board, and again, this is the capital of Vietnam, and of course a great place when it comes to history. There's been so many different cultures that have been influenced this particular region. The actual mausoleum where Ho Chi Minh actually is embalmed and his body lies there is actually in a glass crate, and you have these ceremonial soldiers that guard him all the time. And the building itself is quite Russian. And you realise actually how much influence that Russia and some of the big states have had on Vietnam. So there's this great melting pot of culture. Nice relaxing day at sea, and should we just peter out and finish off a nice relaxing day? Or should we just bring in the big guns? We're talking Hong Kong. And again, it's overnight on board. Now, Hong Kong, the skyline itself is just great to see it in the day, but every night they have a spectacular light show. And this is really one of the things that you just have to do. Whatever you're doing,
it is magical.
Find a viewing spot. I mean, in the day you can go out to some of the viewing points. But at night, you've just got to be in the harbour and just see the laser and the light show. It is just remarkable.
I mean, you are getting to see so much in this one cruise, aren't you? Some real big hitters there. And I think, you know, bear in mind you are away 80 nights. I think that is an outstanding price. What was it per night? Just to remember, what did you say?
£83 per person per night. Just bear in mind the itinerary that we've gone through there. They may differ slightly depending on the date, but you can check that when you book. But again, the ship's facilities itself. But it's the restaurants. I mean, you've got cuisine, you've got Blue. You'll be going through aqua class in a minute. But you know, great food, great wine. One of the greatest wine collections at sea. And you've got to go to the Ice Martini bar as well.
The staterooms, they are so well designed as well. I mean, honestly, if you've never cruised with celebrity, 5-star modern luxury at its very, very best. Now, just to remind you what's included, so return flights from London, the 2-night hotel stay in Singapore, and you do get the Gardens by the Day tour included in that price. You've got the overnight on board in Singapore, Bangkok, Hanoi and Hong Kong as well. So lots of great overnights to really get to see the sights. And as just to mention, the itineraries, they vary just slightly depending on departure dates there. Now, our lead date there is the 18th of January. Great time to get away to this part of the world. But you may want to also look at some of the other staterooms that are available. So, Aqua Class is fantastic. I actually did this last time. My favourite features of Aqua Class, lots of people often ask me, definitely dining in the Blue restaurant every night. It's an amazing restaurant, and 5-course dining at its very, very best. And I love the complimentary access to the Persian Gardens. You know, the days at sea, when you're on the, you know, the hot beds or having the showers, amazing, like tropical rainforest showers and all things like that, just incredible. And of course, priority check-in, but many, many advantages with Aqua Class. And the price is, just to give you a little insight here, starting there at 1479. We've already had sellouts on the 18th of Jan, by the way, so the balcony is all sold out now. Concierge and Aqua is sold out, so don't leave it too long for that one, because I know it has been a top seller recently for Planet Cruise. But another favourite cruise of mine, God, I sound like I'm boasting, so I've got to shut up on that, was with Princess Cruises. Sorry. We've actually got Karen from Princess Cruises now with us on the sofa. Nice to see you.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure, seriously. And I did, so we met earlier. I loved my cruise with Princess.
You did.
It was amazing.
Norwegian Fjords?
It was, it was. What makes Princess so special and so loved by our viewers, would you say?
Well, I've worked in the cruise industry for over 15 years, and I've always chosen to cruise with Princess Cruises for my own holidays, so that says a lot.
You got married on board, didn't you?
I did, a long time ago, yes,
Oh,
yes.
wow.
It was a very magical, special experience, so yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I've got to say, I thought the food was outstanding.
The food is amazing, award-winning food and dining. I mean, there's 17 ships that sail all around the world, so there really is something for everybody to experience. It's great for couples, it's great for groups, it's great for families. My children love cruising. It's such a nice way for them to learn about so many different places all around the world. So, yeah, it's fantastic.
An amazing reputation, of course, in the industry. Now, the reason why Karen's here today is because you've got a brand new promotion with Princess Cruises. You just started, haven't you?
We have, very exciting actually. One of our most popular offers that we have, we've got a free balcony upgrade campaign starting.
And that's on over 600 cruises.
It is, so literally something for everybody. So if you book your 2018 cruise holiday between now and the end of September, you book an ocean view cabin and you get a free upgrade to a balcony cabin.
Brilliant. Now, the only thing is, I've spent quite a lot recently, Karen, OK? Credit cards are quite full. I can't really afford a big deposit. How much do I need to find on my credit card? Justin's the same, by the way.
So, just for this week only, if you book with Planet Cruise, you can secure your holiday for just £50 per person.
Is that all?
Yeah.
I can manage that.
So even you can do it. Even you can do it.
That's brilliant, isn't it? But it means that you've got a long time to actually save, but you only have to put down £50 per person
yeah.
deposit. Brilliant.
So as long as you book this week, £50, that's all you need.
Great, I can find that. Anyway, I know Justin wants to talk about the great destinations. This is a nice easy one. It's out of Southampton, isn't it?
We say this is a nice easy one. It's actually a classic itinerary for the Mediterranean. So I'd actually urge, if you've been sat there for the last 2 weeks watching the show and thinking, you know, I'm going to book a cruise one day, do this one, because it's a great itinerary. You're sailing from Southampton, so you don't have to worry about any flying. You don't have to worry about your luggage allowance. You can take out, we were discussing this earlier on about saying how the girls like to dress up and take
Trust me, that is
all
a big plus. No luggage. All those shoes.
You haven't seen the amount of suits that I've got. Anyway.
So, don't worry about your luggage, don't worry about the flights, none of that. And you've actually got a few days at sea, Justin, to really relax and to enjoy the ship.
Enjoy the balcony.
Yeah, oh, of course.
And, you know, to be fair, you know, the ships usually on the first day, they'll have some sort of acclimatisation. So if you haven't been on board before, you'll know your port from your starboard, you'll know where the lounges are, you'll be able to get booked in and just get comfortable and enjoy, you know, the deck sports that are on board, the entertainment during the day. And just get ready because there's some really big ports that are coming up. Your first port is actually one of my favourites. It's got to be Barcelona. And in Barcelona, you can do as little or as much as you want. If you've never been there before, do it all in one day. You can go along the beach. In fact, these beaches weren't even there before the Olympic Games. So all of these have been put in there. Beautiful. There's some great hotels down there if you want to have lunch. You've got to go to see some of the Gaudi buildings as well, and Sagrada Familia as well. It wasn't actually a Gaudi building design. He actually took it over, and it still hasn't been finished. I think it's planned to be finished in 2030. Yeah. So
we'll wait and see.
There's plenty to see and do there. Go to La Ramblas as well, and there is some good shopping here if you want to indulge. After Barcelona, relaxing day at sea, and then we're into our big port day. We're into Rome. The actual port itself is around an hour from the actual location, so I would recommend booking one of the tours with your advisor when you book the cruise, because it just, again, me and Karen were talking about this earlier on, if you want to go and see the Trevi Fountain, you want to go and see the Colosseum, if you want to go and see the Vatican City, you want to go and see all of these great sites, you don't want to have to worry about, time, I don't want to have to miss the ship. If you're on a tour, you're never going to miss the ship because they will hold the ship for
Good point, actually.
You just don't have to worry about anything.
No.
Yeah, I mean, some of the crew members, we used to do it on our own, but it used to be a little bit hairy on the way back, saying to the taxi driver, no, quick, this way. Anyway, after Rome, or Civitavecchia, then we're into Florence and Pisa. And again, you can do this in one day. I would recommend booking a tour, because you are docking at the port of Livorno. Livorno itself is actually quite an industrial area, but great shopping, so it's quite an urban feel to it. But then you can go out, you can go to Florence, you can go to the Ponte Vecchio Bridge, you can buy some nice jewellery. If you like art, then you can go and see our David as well. There's about 6 of them, the statues. Yeah, I think it was actually modelled after myself in my early days, but I'm not too sure about that.
I think it was from the picture show,
steady. And then there's the Leaning Tower as well.
Which, again, you know, I just had to get the iconic picture of me.
Of holding that.
Yeah, you've got to do it.
It is great. You've got to do it. After Florence and Pisa, then we're off to Genoa. This is a really great Italian feel. You can go to Milan here, so if you love your fashion. If you want to, again, go and indulge, then you can go there. If not, stay in the main town. You've got the Cathedral of San Lorenzo, which is a medieval church which dates back to the 6th century. You've got La Lanterna, which is the oldest lighthouse in existence, or one of the oldest. You've got the House of Columbus as well, which is the birthplace of Christopher Columbus. And you've got the main street as well, which is via Garibaldi. So plenty to see and do there. Then we're off to Marseille. Well, this is your gateway to Provence. So if you love lavender fields, if you love art as well, this is the inspiration for Van Gogh, Cézanne, Matisse, Picasso, and also see the castle there. I always mention this. If you watch the show every week, you're going to go, I know what he's going to say now. But when we see that castle, it's the legendary castle that apparently the Count of Monte Cristo escaped from. So as you sail in, there you can see it. It looks beautiful. Nice relaxing day at sea, and then we finish on the way back in Gibraltar. My first ever port.
Really?
I was petrified. I had 3 days at sea across the Bay of Biscay.
Oh.
I was thinking, what have I done? I've run away to sea. I've got 2 weeks to make my mind up whether I'm going to stay on the ship. And there I was in Gibraltar. I thought, oh, it'll be all right. It'll all be different. And I walked off, and there was a red phone box. There was a British policeman. There was the monkeys. But no, it's a great place. Go and see the monkeys. Just don't feed them because they can get vicious. You've got to go up the rock. History-wise, there's some great stuff. There's like caverns from some of the wars there, and great streets for duty-free. Just check your allowances. Great if you want to bring back your cigarettes or your alcohol, or if you want to take pictures and stuff.
Duty-free, when I was only a few months ago, it was incredible. I have to say.
All I'll say is the inside tip: watch where the crew go. That's all I'm saying.
And then you do have a final 2 days at sea. Just quickly, Karen, what kind of things would you do on the ship at the days at sea?
So you've got so much entertainment going on, it's unbelievable. You've got this luxury spa where you can actually go in and enjoy some relaxation and some treatments. You can enjoy movies under the stars.
Yeah,
there's so many things you can do.
And obviously, the dining experience throughout the day is wonderful, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
You mentioned something about dining on a balcony.
Oh yes, so you can do the ultimate dining experience on the balcony. So you can have breakfast served to you in your balcony, or you can do it in the evening as well and have a full-course meal.
The only problem is to have your food served on a balcony, you have to have a balcony, which means, oh, is this an upgrade?
Oh, it is. Well,
ocean view to a balcony.
Can I just say a massive thank you to Karen. Brand new campaign today. Final words: we get a upgrade to a balcony from Ocean View.
So book your Ocean View, upgrade to a balcony. Pay a £50 per person deposit, and if you book with Planet Cruise this week, you also get a voucher booklet worth $325 to spend on board.
Oh,
so that's against things like what, spa treatments?
Yes, you get discounts in the shops, you can use it in the spa, there's various things you can do with it.
And do you say that, is that exclusive with Planet Cruise?
Yes, for this week only.
This week only,
yeah.
Wow. Karen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, it's amazing, mate. Where's that less than £600 a week, doesn't it? Yeah, so anyway, let's
stay at home for that, would you?
It's true. Let's see what's included tonight on this one. So a free upgrade to a balcony from an Ocean View. So that's the brand new campaign just launched from Princess. Forgot to mention, by the way, we've got some great... Cameron's obviously got her family. If you've got a family, we've got family full prices starting from just £3,529. And we have got that free Princess voucher booklet, and that's worth up to $325 with some exclusive onboard savings as well. And you only need to find £50 today per person to actually book that as well. Price-wise, let's just remind you, we've got... so the inside start at $1,175, but look, the balcony is your free upgrade tonight. So if you go for the outside, you will get a free upgrade to a balcony. And the mini suites, I've got to say, that's what I was looking to stay in one of those, and they're fantastic. Loads of room in those.
Do you know what? I was just saying about you couldn't stay at home for that. I was actually reading, I don't know whether anybody at home read this. There's a lovely story of a lady, and I know you'll probably go, why are you telling this story? Her husband passed away and she was lonely, and she worked out it was actually cheaper to go on board a cruise ship than actually go into a care home or stay at home.
I've
it was only when the ship was retired that then she had to come back home.
Yeah.
So
I've heard that quite a few times.
It's amazing when people, you just think somebody would like to make it their home.
Yeah.
I know that sounds like a really big luxury, but once you start cruising, you'll never go back.
Anyway, I think that's what I'd like to do when I'm old. I'd be more than happy with that, living on a cruise ship. Anyway, we're going to move on to P&O and one of their most stunning ships, the Britannia.
Yeah, we were on her, weren't we?
We were on her last year, weren't we?
Yeah, yeah, it's gone quick.
Isn't she? I mean, she's beautiful.
Look, the great thing with P&O, like all the cruise lines, they know their audience and they know their customers. and they've always done very well at doing British cruising and good quality and good value. You've got obviously you've got your Cunards, which is very, very high-end luxury, but then you pay for that. But P&O, you've got a great destination. I mean, Britannia itself is just
I'd be happy
stunning.
to live on it.
yeah.
And she, we should say with this cruise, we're talking about everything being British. That does make like the entertainment's, really, if there's a comedian, you really get their comedy because to be a British comedian. The shows are great, but everything's also in the pound, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, all in sterling.
Yes.
At the moment. Who knows what's going to happen in the future?
So no nasty conversions, you think? Is that all I get? You only get a few euros for that amount of pounds. It's all in the pound, so it works out great value. And talking of great value, you away 2 weeks to the Caribbean for under £1,300.
Yeah, it works out £87 per night per person.
That's amazing, isn't
now,
it?
if you think of a hotel, what it costs to stay in a hotel, then your food on top of it, even if you're looking at some of the last-minute websites where you can get spa breaks for a night, you look at how much you pay for one night, and you go, OK, food, entertainment in the Caribbean, a beautiful ship which has got a lot more venues than any hotel I could imagine. You'd have to go to a resort to have this. I think it's like something like 13 bars and half a dozen restaurants. I mean, what sort of hotel has that? And again, the staff that have been there, if you're regular P&O passengers, you know what I'm on about. They're so good. But the actual places that you're going to, this is a classic Caribbean cruise.
Let's have a little look. We're flying you over to Barbados. So a nice hot start. Fantastic.
Yeah, but usually Barbados is just your embarkation port, but you actually get a day in Barbados. Day 2 is Bridgetown, Barbados. And the great thing about this, you just got to go straight down to the boatyard. All of the people that used to work at sea are now screaming at the TV screens. There's some great places. You can go to Sandy Lane, which is really nice, expensive and inclusive. You can go and do some of the history, but you've gone to the Caribbean. You want a rum punch in your hand, and you want your flip-flops on, and you want to be in the sea.
You're going to tell to be there.
I'm not kidding you. The beaches in Barbados are that good. Now, we're off to our next destination, and this is actually quite a rarity to go to the ABC Islands. So Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. So we're actually going down to Curacao to start with, and this is the actual the harbour front. There's a floating bridge, and you can walk across this floating bridge through there's a tiny little sort of shopping area, and then walk across the bridge. I'd recommend go out and hire a buggy for the day. Shopping's great here as well, and when you get off the ship, can I just ask you, please go into the little shopping area, and there's a bar there, and if there's a parrot called Coco, take a picture of it and send it in. Well, these parrots, they live to like 70 and 80. And he must still be there. He must be still kicking about. Anyway, now we're off to Aruba. Remember ABC Islands? ABC, the southern part of the Caribbean. We're off to Aruba. Now, I absolutely love Aruba. It's brilliant. This is where there's the beach, where the planes come in really low.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to go and do that, the beaches are great. Again, the actual port itself, really accessible that you can get off and walk around. And it's really, when I say Americanized, I mean good facilities. That sometimes you have the Caribbean, which is rustic, and it's just like not a road, it's not a path. But this is really, really nice. Now, relaxing day at sea, and then we're off to Grenada. Now, one thing here, I mean, it's the Spice Island, the spice market in the middle of town.
And it just smells gorgeous.
It's great. You'll end up bringing back all of your spices. It's just brilliant. But as soon as you get off the ship, you've either got the spice market, or you can get a little water taxi, which is literally an old wooden boat with an outboard on the back, but it's the best ride ever. And you'll go round to Grand Anse Beach, and this is the best beach ever. It's amazing, and there's some great hotels that you can go and use their facilities, go and use the bars and the restaurants there, so it's great. Then we're off to St Vincent. I've actually got relatives here, weirdly enough. I don't know if I've got time to tell you this very quickly. In Barbados, there was a scuba diving shop called Hazel's Scuba Shack. And when I got chatting to the guy, he was like, yeah, I've traced the family history back, and he was a white Bayesian. and he's traced the family back to St Vincent. So this is actually
seriously,
yeah. Just I'm quite
because just
you think I'm big on Ideal World,
so
you know
massive at that.
I'm massive in St Vincent, mate. Anyway, now we're off to St Lucia, one of my favourite islands. I've actually got a very good friend of mine who is in St Lucia right now. I should have got him to FaceTime us in. There's the pitons, the iconic pitons. So iconic they named the local beer after it. Castres is the town that you generally dock in. Marigot Bay is around the south of the island. This is where they filmed Dr. Dolittle. Definitely go there. For me, the beaches to the north of the island, Spinnaker and Pigeon Point up to the north. There's some great resorts there as well. So the Sandals resorts, you can go onto the beach and you can use their bars and bits and pieces. So yeah, you'll absolutely love it. It tends to be a tropical island. So sometimes it can be showers, but then you're in the sea and you're like, this is warm rain. Crazy, and then it just dries really quickly.
I'm going to say it can shower, and then the next second it's boiling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Then we're off to Tortola. Now, Tortola, British Virgin Islands. This is, it's not the most pirated sort of island, but I always think of pirates here in Tortola. You have to go across the top of the mountain, right in the middle, to get to Cane Garden Bay, which is the main beach. Don't go there. Everybody goes there. Turn left and go to Long Beach. Trust me, I've been there, I've done that, I've bought the T-shirt, and I can't fit into it now. But the actual town itself, great little town. You've got to go to Puss's Landing. Now, Puss's Landing, it's a little pub that is famous for the painkiller cocktail. They'll only serve you 2, and that's it. You get them in these little tin enamel mugs, and it's made with the famous Puss's rum, which used to be the Royal Navy tots. Can you believe it, that the military ships up to the 70s used to have a shot of rum every day? All those, anyway, let's not go there.
It is, yeah, it's bizarre when you look back, isn't it?
Let's go to sea. Then we're off to Antigua. 365 beaches for 365 days of the year. It is just... Oh, sorry, we're going to St Kitts. Sorry, we're going to St Kitts. Yeah. St Kitts, great port area. It's actually called Port Zante. And you can go off and get all of your artefacts and your local, get your shirts and get your sort of necklaces and bits and pieces. Good for conch shells.
I'll tell you what, you are getting to see so much in this one, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Then it's Antigua, isn't it?
Yeah, so St Kitts is also very good for outdoor activities. Antigua, it's just beaches. It's some of the best beaches in the world, apart from St Thomas, which, fair enough. You've got St John's there. That gives you some sort of an idea. And again, it's a very, very Americanised, well-developed, so you've got great facilities, really, really great facilities. Then we're off to Dominica. Now, Dominica is really, it's a jewel, an absolute jewel. You get off and you think, well, there's not much here. And then you head into the island. And all I'd say, I always say about booking tours in advance, don't book a tour here. I'd actually say, go to a local taxi driver and go, take me around the island. Have a little bit of a barter with them first. But you can actually go to some great waterfalls. You can go through the botanical gardens. And because some of this region has been hit in the past with hurricanes and bits and pieces, the weirdest thing you'll ever see, there's actually one of the largest trees I've ever seen on one of their school buses. Thankfully, nobody was killed. But they've kept it there as a reminder of the power of nature. It's one of the greatest views there as well. So, look at that, the Emerald Waterfall.
And then back to Barbados, where, of course, you disembark.
Oh, we're going to Barbados.
Now, let's just remind you, because it does work out a ridiculous £87 per person. Just now, we're on the Britannia last year. She is absolutely outstanding. She's so new, beautiful design. Do you remember being in the...
Cindy, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. These are the regular restaurants as well. You've got the Blue Bar as well. Loads of different venues. Great entertainment on board, especially if John Bartram's on board or Neil Oliver. I have to say that because that was my cruise director.
I remember.
And my very good friend.
Well, return flights, of course, are included in this. Flights also available for multiple airports in the UK. Just ask, what's available and ask what the supplement would be for those. The itineraries, they differ slightly just depending on departure date. Again, we can talk you through those. And all of your meals, snacks and entertainment. It will be brilliant entertainment, again, including the price. And the prices start tonight at just £1,299. I mean, you've got to bear in mind, that is for 15 nights, so it works out under £650 per person per week. That's for 15 nights. I know, it's amazing.
Scandalous.
Yeah, and your flights.
Get on
What's
the
your
phones.
flights cost? Anyway, we have got 4 late deals for you as well. So these are late deals. They've been reduced in price. They are amazing. And we've got real variety, actually. So let's just talk you through the first one. We are ready.
Because we've got 4 of them.
Oh, yes,
first
here we
up,
go.
we've got our 27th of October, our 7-night medieval cities for just £349 per person. That's for Cruise and Maritime on the Marco Polo. Over to you, Sean.
Wow, that's sorry, just like £347. 25th of October on that one. Then Fred Olsen. Love Fred Olsen. Great. So I took my mum on the move about 2 years ago. We had a fantastic time. What about this? 29th of August. On board
29th of August?
Yes.
This month?
Yeah. Just a few weeks away. And we've got a price starting at $679 there.
You can also upgrade to all-inclusive for just £15 per person per night. £15.
And look at the itinerary there. Yeah, some great places.
Absolutely stunning. On to our next one. We've got our 7-night Rock the Boat from Newcastle, again with Cruise and Maritime on the Magellan. This is the 2nd of September. Now, the great thing about this particular cruise, Rock the Boat, we're talking Susie Quattro, the Yardbirds, Slade, yeah, come on, feel the noise. We've got Big Country as well, Animals and Friends, as you remember the House of the Rising Sun, and the Trogs. Wild Thing. They're all going to be on board as well.
That one is selling very quickly, by the way. And then the first one there, this 7-night Norway and Fjords from Southampton. Love the Fjords, one of my favourite cruises of all time. That's with P&O on board the Allure. And that departs, hang on, that's really close. That's the 21st.
21st, yeah.
Hang on, what's the date today? The 8th. So that's
8th. Yeah, a couple of weeks.
Look,
they're last-minute deals.
Yeah.
£819. That is
honestly, that is amazing for Fjords in August. God, that's summer holidays. Wow.
Don't forget, we will get a chance to hopefully go through those at the end of the show. But if you've missed the details for that, then just give the number at the bottom of the screen a call and ask the guys about the last-minute deals.
Now, whenever we bring you a Thomson cruise, it's always phenomenally busy.
Yeah.
But it goes crazy when they're all-inclusive. And this one is all-inclusive, isn't it?
All-inclusive. Free upgrade. We've also got flights from Gatwick, Cardiff or Belfast. That's what the price is actually based on. There are other airports that are available supplement. But again, great that you've got the choice from those 3 airports as well.
And when we say all-inclusive, that isn't just drinks and food. That's all of your service charges and tips and everything, isn't it?
All-inclusive. And deposit, you're going about deposit earlier on. Deposits from just £75 per person.
Wow.
Perfect.
Are you ready? Well, let's take you on board. Now, we know we get amazing feedback with Thomson, and I think it's everything, isn't it? The great entertainment, the great food, but also it's the atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you've got perhaps resorts or hotels that you used to go to as a family, and you've got great memories, I'd actually go to say that they've captured that, but they've just raised the bar, because the whole of the cruise industry is going to be luxurious. Yeah, it's going to be that level up. Everybody within the service industry and hotels would aspire to work on cruise ships. But what Thomson have made, instead of it being a little bit, you know, sometimes it's a bit too prim and proper, a little bit too formal. This is very relaxed, very friendly. You feel at home. Great for first-time cruisers. And again, if you're going with a family, whether it's a family with your kids or whether it's a family as in just the unit, it's just going to be fantastic. They take classic cruise ships and they breathe a new lease of life into them. And when I say breathe a new lease of life, you would not recognise the interiors on some of the ships. When you actually look at the Spirit from the outside, you can see what I mean. A classic cruise ship, just like when you see a classic car and it's been restored, they have done the interiors and the bars and the venues to such a great standard. And for the price, unbelievable.
And, you know, although I love, you know, sort of like brand new ships and things like that, I also do love the classic ships. You know, so particularly when they've been, you know, all redone and, they're gorgeous. The crew will probably stay with that ship because there's a better atmosphere. And if you've got a happy crew, you've got happy passengers. So definitely at Thomson, you're going to have a great time. Well, try and be quick on this one because it will be top seller tonight. But it starts off with a flight over to Malaga. Did you say there's a choice of airports, isn't there?
Yeah, choice of airports. You can either fly from Gatwick, Cardiff or Belfast. Again,
Lovely.
Just check that with your representative when you book. But your first day at sea is going to be a nice, relaxing day at sea, and then into Mahon, which is in the Balearics. Easy for me to say. The beaches here are fantastic. Calablanca, Santa Maria, En Brut, Foucat and Blanz. They just are stunning. So definitely go there. Also, there's a local gin distillery. Oh,
well,
I've got your attention.
Yeah, I like the gins.
Yeah, there's a gin distillery, and apparently there's a local cocktail. So you've got to try it. You've got to try it. Then we're off to Toulon. We're off to France, and this is a big maritime and big military port as well. So you'll see some fantastic warships in here. But this is really the gateway to the Côte d'Azur. So you've got superb vineyards here. You've got great beaches, lovely little marinas as well. So plenty to see and do here. And all I'd say is it's got a little bit of resemblance of Paris in parts. So just find a little bistro, find a little restaurant, and have a lovely lunch and just enjoy it. Then we're off to Barcelona. We've touched on Barcelona, great place to go. But we're off to Valencia next. Now, Valencia, you've got the old quarter, which was from the Middle Ages, but then you've got so much more as well. You've got the Ladro Museum, so if you love your porcelain, then you can go there. You've also got the Phallus Museum as well, which is these great cardboard, wood and plaster figurines that they make for a festival, and this is actually a museum of the ones that get saved from there, so you can go and see that. Also, you've got the Albufeira National Park, which is just a short ride away, so you've got a 2.6 kilometre beach, so just enjoy it. Then we're off to Cartagena, ancient port. You've got plenty of history here. And if 2.6 kilometres of beach wasn't enough for you, how about 175 miles of beach? Yeah, this actual particular region, the Costa Caldea, has actually got one of the best parts of of Spain for beaches. Then you're coming back to Malaga and then flying back to the UK.
I mean, amazing. Do you know, just thinking, because August has been such a washout and the weather's been so bad, I just want to get away, don't you? You know,
What are you trying to say?
No, you know, it's all been a bit flat the last few weeks because the weather's been so bad in the UK. Anyway, it's just so nice to have a cruise to look forward to, isn't it? And this is that wonderful ship, the Thomson Spirit, as we said. What I love about cruises is the variety, is the choice. You're never ever bored for a second. You know, it's so nice to be able to choose which bars you're going to be in, which restaurants, or be outside, you know, just looking out to the sea or looking at the gorgeous ports that you're in. And I do love not worrying, you know, about price. When I say that, the price on the screen, that includes everything. So you will get a free upgrade to all-inclusive on board. And I don't mind telling you, I love all-inclusive because I do like a drink on holidays.
Yeah.
Or two. Return flights, Gatwick, Cardiff or Belfast, that is included in the price on the screen. Now, we have got some other airports available just for a small supplement, so ask us about those. And we often get asked about single specials. We have got a brilliant single special on this one, and I know again there are potentially tens of thousands, if not more of you, hundreds of thousands potentially watching that want the singles. We've got a price of 1289, and actually if you're thinking a week's not enough, you can actually extend your stay on this one, can't you?
Yes, yeah, there's a great opportunity. You can stay in the Costa del Sol for an extra 7 nights for just £289 per
really
person.
good, isn't it?
So when you think of a 7-night all-inclusive, and then you go for a 7-night hotel stay as well, that's 2 weeks.
I'm trying to do the maths. Is that 40 quid a night then? It's around about that, isn't it? 7 + 20. It is. £41 a night. Oh, yeah.
Again, unbelievable value, and for such a good cruise line that's known for quality and service.
They've worked out it's 41.28 apparently. They've been very pedantic upstairs.
Particular.
Very particular. So the prices there, May starts at 929, and actually the 24th of June is still only 949. Now, if you can go for an outside, look at that. Again, only £50 more on the 24th of June, and great prices on the deluxe, the suites, and that single is excellent. Actually, one of the best we've seen this year. Now, I may have been lucky to have been on 24 or 25 cruises, but I've yet to do a river cruise. And the more I see, the more I'd love to do one.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people that have done a Mediterranean cruise, they've done a Caribbean cruise, they might have been lucky enough to do the world cruise. But when you actually then head into a region where the ships have been designed for that particular river, and with this brand Riviera as well, they've got some great ships. There's actually when I say choice, depending on the date that you go, will depend on whether it's one ship or the other. Both of them identical, they're sister ships. But it's just a different way of life. There's 169 passengers at full capacity. At full capacity.
I mean,
now, how often is it that you have a ship that's sailing at capacity? So, you know, you could have 150 people on board. You've got 44 staff members. And again, you think, oh, it's probably going to be small, it's going to be cramped, it's going to be like a canal boat. Not at all. This has got lifts, it's got salons, it's got laundries, it's got a pool, it's got a putting green up on the top deck as well. So it's not what you'd expect when you say river cruise.
Well, let's have a little look now.
Yeah.
So, again, far more luxurious than you'd ever imagine at this price.
Yeah, definitely. And well, a reception desk that's open 24/7. On-board classical recitals, you can see the actual bridge there, part of Budapest, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. But they are superb ships. And again, does that look like the inside of a river cruise ship? And the experience
looks amazing.
Very laid back. So a lot of the time you'll be waking up and you'll actually be sailing, and you'll dock at lunchtime, or you'll perhaps have lunch, get back on board, and then sail on upstream. But it's remarkable. If you've ever wanted to go to Budapest, book this cruise, because it's going to be finishing in Budapest. There is a tour that's included as well in Budapest. So a great way to see this region of the world.
Yeah, I've got to say, if I do decide to do a river cruise, and I'm very tempted in the future, this is an area that I'd love to explore.
Yeah, well, there's a wine region here. You've got monasteries. You've got classical music. Yeah. It's perfect.
Well, anyway, let's just talk you through. Let's meander you through this one. So we're flying from London, aren't we, to Budapest?
Yeah, flying out to Budapest, and then you're going to be transferring onto the Thomas Hardy, as again, it'll either be the Thomas Hardy or the Jane Austen, depending on the dates. First, the actual port of call is Esztergom, and this town is internationally famed for its Renaissance buildings. So it's got one of Hungary's largest churches that you can see there, standing over the Danube. And again, you get to see this from your cabin. You literally cruise along a river. You know, it's not miles away, it's just a few hundred feet away. And then you're going to be having your lunch on board and gently leaving Esztergom in your wake and heading off towards Slovakia and some of the other great villages. We're off to Bratislava now. This is, well, you know, fast emerging as a big capital city in Slovakia. And this afternoon, you actually cruise into Lower Austria. So you get to see these great squares. You get to see that wonderful building. Again, it's a really great region for wine, so enjoy some of the local wines there. Then we're off to Dürnstein and Melk. So this is a day where you see two places. A beautiful, picturesque, I mean, just take a look at that in Dürnstein. This is actually where Richard the Lionheart was shipwrecked during the Crusades, and he was actually imprisoned here. So it's a great sense of history, and the actual building itself ended up being a monastery. And there's a great monastery that you'll actually get to go. Again, that is included with it. It's going back to the 11th century in the Benedictine order. So plenty of history there. Then we're off to Linz and Salzburg. Now, if you love your gardens, then the Mirabell Gardens has got to be the one thing that you go to. So if you like all things green and horticultural, then you can do. And, of course, once you dock in Linz, you'll be then transferring to a coach, driving along to Salzburg before returning to your ship. Now we've got the highlight, Vienna. It is one of the most beautiful cities. You've got some of the great cathedrals here. St. Stephen's dominating the skyline. You've got a collection of museums here. You've got the Vienna Boys Choir, the Spanish Riding School. There is just so much. But if you love your classical music, you are going to love this. Beethoven, Brahms, Mozart, Strauss. It is just the best place to listen to classical music. And one of the best places as well, go to the Royal Palace that you just saw there, the Schönbrunn Royal Palace. It is absolutely exquisite. You finish up in Budapest, and this is where you have an overnight on board. And the fact that you're stepping off the ship and onto the quayside, and you can walk into Budapest. There's the old Jewish quarter, there's the Parliament building, there's a lovely memorial actually, which goes back to the Second World War. Very poignant, just down outside of the Parliament buildings. The bridges, of course, one side is Buda, the other side is Pest. You can go across to the older buildings. But I'd say just have a wander around, because you're just going to find some great goulash. You're going to get some great, really great Hungarian wines. I can't emphasise it enough. And one of my favourite places, I've been there in the winter for the winter markets, and I've been there in the summer. And it just amazed me both times. I thought the winter markets was great, went back. The summer, it was even better. So this time of the year, and the fact that you're getting to see it from the comfort of a ship that only has 169 passengers, absolutely superb.
And as you can see on the screen there, an amazing price tonight. I mean, look at the the junior suites there that again we've got available. You might be lucky enough to be able to go for a suite tonight as well, but all the accommodation is outstanding, actually. And just to remind you, everyone that books tonight, forgot to mention, you'll get a free Kindle with every booking.
Yep.
That's really good.
And you like your all-inclusive as well, don't you?
I do, yes, I do like my drinks.
So you can actually add a drinks package that if you want wine and drinks with your meals, then it's £99 per person.
And that's for the week?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the drinks with meals.
I would definitely be doing that. And then return flights from London Gatwick. And as just as mentioned, the ships differ depending on departure date, but they'll be sister ships. So,
yeah.
You know, they will be pretty much identical. And the prices, now again, these do, obviously because there are only just over 160 passengers on each, say, ship, then obviously things do sell out very quickly. And we've got, say, prices there starting at under £1,000. I think if you can afford it, for a little bit more, it is really worth going for the French balcony, isn't it?
And well, apart from the balcony, remember that you get so much included with this. You've got a guided tour of Vienna, which you see the city of Strauss and the home of the Habsburgs. You've got a live classical quartet on board. You've got a tour of Baroque Bratislava. You've got you're going to get to see the Austrian wine region, the Melk Monastery. We've got so much that's included. I've only covered about half.
So just before we move on, you've probably spotted at home all the single ladies and gents. July, August and September, there's single prices that cost the same.
Yeah.
No extra for singles on certain dates there either.
Which is
Just
great.
spot that at home. So July, August and September, the same prices there. Nothing extra for singletons.
And again, just ask, when you book, ask about what's included, because the tours that are included on that one really do give you the great value.
So September there, 1699 for the Riverview, and the same price for the single, 1699. So yes, same for July and the same for August. So get on the phone lines quickly for those, because they will go fast. And then our final cruise night is on one of the first ships I ever cruised on, the Independence of the Seas.
Aww.
Yeah, I know, but
Did you know your port from your starboard?
oh, I didn't have a clue.
Did you have your life jacket on upside down
Do
for
you know,
the drills?
I was just wandering around, just in absolute heaven, going, "This is amazing, this is amazing." We actually did a bit of filming on there as well, but yeah,
It is.
Do you know the main bit I loved was the Royal Promenade right down the centre,
Yeah.
like a big street with everything happening.
For those of you that haven't cruised before, if you've cruised on just, when I say a standard type of ship, the format for Royal Caribbean, they did break the mould originally with the Royal Promenade, and it is quite literally a street. And now that, you know, they're building, it's like two cruise ships together with a whole, it's just unbelievable.
And there are loads of great features when I went on there, but now there's lots of improvements have been made. And apparently there's even the first ever trampoline at sea.
Trampoline, water slides, laser tag, and an escape room.
Right, let's have a look then. What's on board?
As well. And bear in mind that she's being upgraded for 2018. Straight away you can see that she's a Royal Caribbean ship. Fun is definitely a destination. The rock climbing wall, the wave rider, the new water slides that are being included, the new laser tag for the kids, new escape room as well. And a first at sea, here you go. Are you ready for it? Top deck trampolining.
That'd be awesome.
No, it wouldn't. No, just me on a trampoline's not good.
I'll be honest, right? Some of you might be thinking, I don't want to do any of that. But the great thing with Royal Caribbean, and this is why a lot of families cruising with Royal Caribbean, there's something for everybody, isn't there? So if you want a quiet bar somewhere, you can have that.
Can I actually admit something to you?
Go on.
This is, you know, I know this is on public TV, but I quite like watching other people just enjoying themselves.
Yes,
I'm not like, I believe it or not, I know, presenter, Mr. Entertainment. You won't catch me doing any of those things, but I love people. I love people watching. You know, when you just sit there and go, I reckon he's going to fall over. I reckon he's up. Oh, and he's down. So you'll have a great time.
Families have an amazing time, as does everybody actually. But we're going to start off again. There's no flying on this one, so pack as much luggage as you like. Your cruise starts straight away. You start enjoying yourselves. 2 days at sea. So if you want to do loads of activities, you can do.
Yeah, definitely. Then we're into Gibraltar. Well, we touched on Gibraltar. You've got to go up the rock. You've got to go and see the monkeys and enjoy yourself in Gibraltar. Then we're off to Cartagena. Now, Cartagena, fantastic history, goes back to the Second Punic War. There's some great historic sites to see that there. Then we're off to Mallorca. We're off to Palma. Now, Palma has got this incredible cathedral just straight on the front. Again, it's one of those places that you probably remember on your family holidays. But the port itself, great for shopping, great for food. Just around the back of the cathedral, there's this great local bread that that you can get. It's like a sourdough. But, and also the boulevard there, it's actually a smaller version of La Ramblas, which you see in Barcelona. Talking of Barcelona, it's nice time. We're off to Barcelona. You can go see the big La Ramblas, and you can go and see and do all of the things that we talked about earlier on. Now we're going to Villefranche, and this is one of the tender ports. This is where they lower the lifeboats down. They turn into little tenders that get you ashore. And I absolutely love Villefranche. So all I'd say is just wander along the seafront here and carry on round, because where this photograph is taken from is, I believe it's St John Cap Ferrat, and it's one of the most. It is just beautiful. This is where you get all of the celebrities, and yeah, I did see it. I was going to say I'm always very conscious about name dropping. You know, John Rocca, who designs for, yeah, he's not many with the long hair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in one of the bars there. So I nudged the other half. I went, "Is that who I think it is?" She went, "It is." Anyway, so yeah, and yeah, the residences that are there, it's unbelievable. You can go to Monte Carlo, you can go to Nice. And when I say you can, it's literally a few minutes away. You can jump on a local bus, you can get a local taxi, and just spot some of the yachts that are moored up here. It's a little bit quieter than Monaco, that's all I'll say. Anyway, then we're off to Corsica. Now, Corsica, I've actually been on a holiday, one of the rare places, because I've travelled so much, I don't generally go on holiday. This was one of the first places that I actually went back to. Corsica itself is stunning. The inland part of Corsica, very hilly, great forests, are great for walking, but the beach is just absolutely stunning. Ajaccio as well, got great history. It was where Napoleon Bonaparte ended up in his later years there. So a great town to go and see some of the sights, but just enjoy it. Relaxing day at sea, and then into Malaga. Now, Malaga, you've got one of the greatest forts here. You've got the Alcazaba Fort, which is a Moorish fort, great gardens. You've also got Picasso Museum as well, and you've also got La Malgueta, which is one of the bull rings, so you can see some of the culture there as well. And I believe it's actually the home of Antonio Banderas as well. Random fact, just drop that one in. Then we're off to Cadiz and the Seville region. Now, Seville itself, fantastic cathedral that you've actually got here. You can go to some of the sherry bodegas, which is the sherry bars. Great region for sherry and great region for oranges, obviously. You've got a great fortress here as well that if you want to go and see some of the history, the Alcazar fortress. So you can go and see that. Then you've got 2 days at sea before sailing back into Southampton, and that completes your trip on the Independence of the Seas.
God. Oh, that's fabulous. I mean, you cover a lot of places. And that. Do you want to see the ship? So I've not been on a fair.
There's Wave Rider at the back, and then and again, bear in mind, all of this is going to be updated. You've got the water slides there as well. You've got the solarium. So there are family-friendly areas. There it is. That's, I love that. It's unbelievable that that's actually on a ship. That looks like, you know, a bustling street in a city, and that's what Royal Caribbean really brings.
Anyway, just to recap, everything's included now. The price was great already. What about this? Free Wi-Fi and free port parking. Now, to get free parking for 2 weeks, that's worth a lot of money. That is included. You'll also get a £50 M&S or Amazon voucher if you book a balcony above tonight. And brand new entertainment on board, so brand new shows. We saw it, the first ever trampoline as well. The Seal Plus water slides, laser tag, escape room, loads. If you come back and you say you're bored, I'd be gobsmacked. Because there is so much to do and so much choice as well. You'll have a great time. But we are nearly out of time. So let's just recap the 6 deals that we've had.
Pencils at the ready. Yes. Get ready to write down those ID numbers.
And we started off with Celebrity. Amazing deal. Starting at 1479, the 18-night Northbound Asian Allure there. You get loads of, say, stays, because you get the 2-night Singapore hotel stay as well. You get the overnight in Bangkok, Hanoi, and Hong Kong as well. And an amazing price. I think it worked out, £83?
84, I think it was.
Yeah, it was amazing. 83 it was, yeah.
Oh, 83, even better.
Yeah, even better. Then we moved on to, we had our lovely Karen join us from Princess Cruises. Brand new promotion just started. And you will get a free upgrade to balcony cabin from Ocean View if you book right now, and you can actually secure your place for just £50 per person as well. So that's a great deal, and some lovely offers for families of 4 as well. Then we had P&O on board the Britannia. Just and I were on board her just last year. Gorgeous 50-night Eastern Caribbean from Barbados, and that works out £87 per person per night there as well. Then the all-inclusive from Thomson, I'm sure we're really busy for this one, 929. Lead date starting the 27th of May, and a low deposit needed tonight of just £75. So you are getting a free upgrade on that one to all-inclusive, and flights from either Gatwick, Cardiff or Belfast as well. Have got some other flights available just for supplement as well. If you want to extend your stay, 7 nights in the Costa del Sol from only £289 as well. Then we had Riviera. I thought this was great, actually. I'd love to do this one just because of where we're going.
Yeah, and Budapest, just one of my favourite city locations, so I'd highly recommend it. And remember, it doesn't say it on there, but there's so many tours that are included in that price. So when you book it, just clarify that of what's included, because this is only a snippet, really, of what you get.
And if you like your drinks, then don't forget a drinks with meals package from £99 per person and a free Kindle with every booking. And then last, but by no means least, that amazing deal on board the Independence of the Seas with free Wi-Fi, free port parking, and a price of $1,225, and an M&S or Amazon voucher if you book a balcony or above. Now, the late deals were cracking tonight, weren't they?
Yeah, we had a 10-night on Braemar, which was Fred Olsen for $679 per person. We've also got, in October, the 7-night Medieval Cities tour, which is on Cruise and Maritime for $349. That one's going to absolutely fly. We've also got the 7-night Rock the Boat with Cruise and Maritime, featuring Susie Quattro, the Yardbirds, Slade, Big Country, the Animal and Friends, and the Trogs, and a 7-night Norway deal with P&O Cruises for just $819.
Yeah, that goes in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so 21st of August. So.
I mean, honestly, you could even take the kids away because it's 21st of August, isn't it? Is there kids as well?
Yeah, you'd have to check that.
Yeah,
have to check that.
But honestly, to get away in August, and it's an amazing price. Just we're out of time.
It's a shame. Should we do it all again next week?
I'd like to, shall we?
Yeah, go on then.
And we'd love to see you with us next week at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock every Tuesday. From Justin and myself, thank you so much. Get on the phone lines and book a cruise tonight. It's always nice to have something to look forward to. Justin, see you next week. We'll do it all again. Don't go anywhere, though. Loads more coming up after this.